Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk about a couple of trademarks, and we've talked about trademarks before. But the thing is, when we talk about these trademarks, that they tend to be right. Again, we're talking about trademarks that have gone and been filed under the appropriate section, which is for toys including trading card games, and we're looking at ones which are honestly pretty likely to be trading cards, and our hit rate's been pretty gosh darn good. I mean, the example I gave you the other day was when I showed you the trademark for Fusion Arts, and then obviously Fusion Arts was confirmed to be Sword and Shield 8 over in Japan. Now, we talked about VMAX Climax the other day, and we've talked about that before. We've given some predictions. Sometimes we feel pretty good about the predictions we make based off of trademarks. Eevee Heroes was a pretty obvious one. We saw the trademark for Eevee Heroes. We said it was likely to be an Eevee-focused TCG set, and it very much was an Eevee-focused TCG set. And the good news is that the trademarks we've got today are very much more in that vein. It seems pretty obvious what they are when we start digging into them. They are Space Juggler and Time Gazer. And if you follow Pokemon at all, if you've got a decent knowledge of Pokemon, that is going to jump off the screen to you. Now, I suppose in terms of Space Juggler, you could make an argument for something like Blacephalon, Ultra Beast, Clown, but no. It's Dialga and Palkia. It's got to be Dialga and Palkia, and I'm not really entertaining any other predictions here. Now, obviously, these are trademarks that have been filed by the Pokemon Company. These are not announcements, so I cannot tell you for absolute certain what is going to happen. Let's be 100% clear here. This video is very much a prediction. I am not telling you what is definitely happening. I am telling you that based on the information we've got, this seems sensible. So yes, it is all prediction, it is all speculation, but hopefully I'm going to be able to show you how confident I feel. Dialga is the temporal Pokemon, i.e. the time Pokemon, and Palkia is the spatial Pokemon, i.e. the space Pokemon. So we've got Space Juggler and Time Gazer, which is basically space Pokemon and time Pokemon, which is very much Dialga and Palkia. So what it seems like we're getting here is a double set, where one of the sets is going to revolve around Dialga and have Dialga VMAX and all of that, if VMAXs are still a thing. Remember, VMAX Climax might actually change that. And then a second set, which is all going to be revolving around Palkia. That again seems pretty gosh darned. It seems like a very easy prediction to make, alright? And I feel pretty good making it. So in the same way that Sword and Shield 7 over in Japan was a double set where one of them was featuring Duraludon and one of them was featuring Rayquaza, and overall it was the Dragons Are Back set, this will be half Dialga, half Palkia. What's the theme of this double set? It's Gen 4. And again, I cannot tell you for absolute certain this is true. Like I've said, that is the case for the entire video. But don't forget that in November of this year, we have the impending release of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Well, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but in what world is there a Dialga and Palkia themed double set, Gen 4, coming in the middle or at the end of Gen 8 in the trading card game, and it is not tied in some way, shape or form with the Gen 4 remakes? Again, it's possible. It could just be a coincidence. But the fact of the matter is that Pokemon have proven they kind of know what they're doing with this. And they're kind of pretty good at this. And you know this has got to be planned. Again, we've got trademarks here, which are basically space Pokemon and time Pokemon, which is going to be coming out somewhere after the Gen 4 remakes. It's too perfect, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely too perfect. And like I've told you before, we can look at the history of the Pokemon trading card game, and we can look at these remakes, and we can see that Pokemon do get the remakes and tie them in with the TCG. back in the Gen 3 era when we had Fire Red and Leaf Green released as video games, we had the set EX Fire Red and Leaf Green, which, was clearly very, very much a tie-in set. For Heart Gold Soul Silver, we actually went even further than that, and we had a 4-set mini block, which was all based around Heart Gold Soul Silver. Incidentally, for my money, still the best era of the Pokemon TCG. And I know I'm entirely biased, and I am absolutely fine with this. I am not an impartial observer. That's when I was really starting to get into the game, get good at the game, etc. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, I loved that. And it was a whole 4-set block. And alright, for the Gen 3 remakes, we didn't have a set called Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire. But what we did have was a set called Primal Clash, which was very much all built around Mega Pokemon like Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. So it was basically the tie-in set, although it was slightly less explicit. Now, I can't tell you when this set is coming out. Again, we don't have an announcement of a set here. What we have is a couple of trademarks being put in, which then will almost certainly turn into these sets in the future, though we don't actually know for certain. Now, what I can do is give you an example, and let's be clear, this is an example. It is nothing more than an example. We good? Excellent. So let's look at Fusion Arts then. Fusion Arts as a trademark, well, we covered it on this channel on the 25th of January. And that set is coming out at the end of September. So that's an 8-month gap between the trademark being discovered, filed, usually discovered pretty quickly, and the set actually coming out. So if that followed through, and let's be clear, I am being very, very fast and loose here with the predictions, but if that followed through, we'd be looking at a release sometime around April, which does seem a little bit too late. It does seem a little bit later than it should be, given that the game is coming out in November, but then again, it's not always quite that clear. So, for instance, if we look at Heart Gold Soul Silver, the games were released in March 2010, whereas the TCG was actually released in February 2010. So the TCG actually made it out a little bit earlier than the video games. Whereas if we look at Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, they came out in November 2014, with the set not coming out in English until February 2015, so there was a little bit of a gap. If I'm honest with you, I don't think this is going to be a set that waits till April. That seems like it's a little bit late, but again, I can't tell you for absolute certain because this is a trademark, it's not an announcement. But as I've explained in previous videos, Pokemon like doing these tie-in sets. This is the 4th lot of remakes, and the first 3 lots of remakes all had proper TCG tie-ins. So it seems very likely that we would see a similar kind of thing here, and clearly having sets based around Dialga and Palkia is a pretty good start. It does then also beg the question of what about Legends Arceus? Which, of course, is the other game that's coming out. Now, the good news is we do have that promo card that you get for pre-ordering the game in Japan. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've already pre-ordered a Japanese version of this. Because I wanted that and I wanted the art book. And I'm sure the promo will come over here at some point, but I didn't want to take the risk. So I've got my art book coming and my promo card, and I feel pretty good about it. But remember, we've got a set coming called VMAX Climax, which very well could be the end of the Sword and Shield era. But we ain't ready for Gen 9 yet. Gen 9 is not coming out in 2021, and there are rumours that Gen 9 is not coming out in 2022. Although nobody really knows anything unless they work for the Pokemon company. So having sets themed around the remakes and Arceus does make a huge amount of sense. Maybe the fact that they are set in Hisui, which is Old Sinnoh, and Sinnoh, means that they can combine the two and have some big Sinnoh love. I don't really know. But what I do know is that these trademarks, if they're not hinting at Dialga and Palkia, then they have been, I think to put it euphemistically, clumsily named. And these look very much like set names which are going to be coming out not too long after the Gen 4 remakes. I mean, connect the dots with me here, ladies and gentlemen. Connect the dots. And of course, if we're getting new sets based around Gen 4, then they finally got to give us a new Mamoswine. Seriously, we haven't had a Mamoswine since Crimson Invasion. Crimson Invasion was a while ago, ladies and gentlemen. Crimson Invasion was frankly too long ago. Crimson Invasion was Sun and Moon 4. It came out in November 2017. That's like almost 4 years ago at this stage. We need a new Mamoswine. This might be our chance. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your predictions. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourself till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.